Misha, what you reading? Nothing much, just Scarlet Letter. Oh, do you like it? I've heard it's a really good book. Not at all, it's awful. What makes you say that? Don't even get me started. So yeah, I really didn't like the Scarlet Letter, but before I get into why, I have to bore you guys with some basic information. So the Scarlet Letter was first published in 1850 by this guy. His name's Nathaniel Hawthorne. But the events of the book itself take place in the mid-17th century in the Puritan Massachusetts Bay Colony. The book gets its name from the Scarlet Letter A worn on the breast of one Hester Prynne, the main character. Hester is forced to wear this Scarlet Letter because she had an affair, through which she conceived a daughter. Hester and her daughter Pearl are cast out of the Puritan society in which they lived. The book mostly follows Hester's struggle to find peace and live a life of dignity after being publicly shamed for having the affair. Now, according to a lot of people, this is a great novel, and I won't dispute the fact that it has all the foundations of a great novel. Developed setting? Check. Well-rounded characters with motivations and everything? Check. Logical plot? Check. Ability to engage readers? To me, that's where this falls short. For example, I'd read almost 100 pages, and when I finished, I wouldn't remember a single thing of what I just read. It just never processed. Now, part of this is because of the diction. It was written in the mid-1800s and follows the archaic diction of the period. If you're like me and have a hard time reading other books written in this time period, such as A Tale of Two Cities and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, I would highly recommend not reading this book. I mean, just listen to this. It was a circumstance to be noted on the summer morning when our story begins its course that the women, of whom there were several in the crowd, appeared to take a particular interest in whatever penal infliction might be expected to ensue. The age had not so much refinement that any sense of impropriety restrained the wearers of petticoat and farthingale from slipping forward into the public ways and wedging their not unsubstantial persons, if occasion were, into the throng nearest to the scaffold at an execution. Could he have gotten any more long-winded than that? Probably, yeah, but that's not the point. Another problem I had with the book were the themes of it. The themes included individualism, guilt, and sin. There's a point when things get predictable and overdramatic, and the Scarlet Letter is right at that point. Get cast out of your town? Go live in the woods nearby. Commit a sin? Destroy your mind and body because of your guilt. And the list goes on and on. But I can't give away too much now, can I? Yes, I know that Hester was trying to show that she can still be an individual and have a life of meaning and dignity. But seriously? Last but not least, I felt that the book was too spread out. There was not actually that much that happened, and it seemed like everything was drawn out way longer than it needed to be. It felt like Hawthorne was trying to make grandiose conclusions based on something that is actually really quite simple, and is completely irrelevant. This led to the book being, and there's no other word for it, boring. Overall, I would not recommend the Scarlet Letter. I would especially not recommend it if you are not a fan of archaic diction. It just makes the book harder to read, and therefore, harder to enjoy. Also, if you don't like predictability and excessively drawn out stories, then this is not the book for you. The last piece of advice I have for you is to not do what I did and read it because you feel like you have to. Read something you think you might enjoy instead. Anyway, that's all from me. Have fun reading.